I bought a strange glass box from a street vendor, and inside, I find an entire miniature cultivation world. A lobster claw I toss in becomes a fearsome demon beast. A toy sword becomes a divine weapon said to have sealed an emperor. In their eyes, I am an all-powerful god who reigns over eternity. But the truth is, I'm just a cancer patient with less than 3 months to live, sitting here with a lobster delivery I just ordered. I flip the switch on the glass box and start poking around. A vast desert fills the view. Something tiny is darting through it. I grab a magnifying glass and make out a young girl. She is covered in wounds. 2 massive black wolves are closing in behind her. Desperate, she thrusts a finger back. A flying sword shoots out like a streak of light, but the wolves dodge it without even slowing down. They slam into her, knocking her to the ground. They start tearing at her. This projection feels way too real. I can't just watch. The old man said the box might be interactive, so I grab 2 toothpicks and drop them in from above. They fall like giant spears and skewer both wolves in an instant. Frost stares in total disbelief. She spins around searching, but there is nothing, just empty desert. No time to think. She swallows an elixir and sits down to heal. After a short while, some strength returns. She walks up to the 2 enormous wooden pillars, the toothpicks, and stares at the dead wolf demons beneath them. A chill runs down her spine. Whoever did this has to be an incredibly powerful master. She presses her hands together and bows. I am Frost, a disciple of Azure Thunder Sect. Thank you, Senior, for saving me, but a long silence follows. No one answers. Meanwhile, the senior Frost is calling out to is answering his door for a lobster delivery. I carry the box back to my room, just about to dig in, when I notice the tiny girl inside the box kneeling in front of the toothpicks, lips moving. I lean in closer. I finally make out her words. Thank you, Senior, for your aid. Please retrieve your sacred weapons before others take them. Sacred weapons? These are just toothpicks. The interaction on this thing is absolutely insane. It even generates its own story. I ignore her and start eating, watching the tiny girl pace anxiously around the toothpicks, until she suddenly collapses. She has not eaten in half a month. At only the 13th level of chi refinement, she cannot yet sustain herself on spiritual energy alone. Her eyes drift to the wolf demon's corpse. To survive, she has no choice. Frost cuts off a chunk of wolf meat and puts it in her mouth. The raw stench almost makes her gag, but staying alive means she has to force it down. I'm completely glued to the screen. I gently set one of my lobster claws down next to her. Something enormous and fiery red crashes down right in front of her. The ground shakes. She stares up at it. What kind of beast does this giant claw belong to? It's enormous. Then a voice reaches her, not from outside, but from within. Eat. Frost snaps to attention, scanning her surroundings. Still nothing in sight, but she understands. Senior has acted again. Thank you, Senior. Just the smell alone fills Frost with a sudden surge of energy. She tests her flying sword, driving it into the claw. There's a grinding screech, and her sword snaps clean in half. The claw doesn't have a scratch. Frost stares at the broken blade, eyes glistening. The sect was never wealthy. This sword was something Sarah had saved up for years to forge for her. Meanwhile, I'm watching the whole thing with great amusement. 800 yuan well spent. Look at that little face. She's about to cry. The detail is unbelievable. I decide to crack the claw open and see what she does next. Stand back. Frost hears the voice and looks up, confused. A colossal golden hand descends from the heavens and effortlessly wraps around the giant claw. With a sharp crack, the shell splits open. The golden hand fades back into the sky. Eat. Frost's mind is spinning. She knew Senior was powerful. She had no idea it was like this. The pale white meat glistens before her. She can't hold back anymore. She digs in with zero dignity. Watching her go at it like that somehow makes me hungry too. But then, something catches my eye. The lobster meat in my box. There's less of it. How does a projection cause actual food to disappear? I look back at the toothpicks. They are covered in wolf blood. No way. This can't be real. Has the cancer spread to my brain? Am I hallucinating? I run a hand through my hair. I need to test this. I start studying what the box shows me. The view inside always stays centered on the girl. I can't see anything beyond a certain range. Is the box only able to show what's within about 300 meters of her? I'm still thinking when the ground starts to move. Something underground is heading straight for her. Watch out, I shout. Frost, only halfway through her meal, hears the warning. She grabs the broken blade on instinct and scans her surroundings. Through the swirling sand, something huge is rushing toward her. A wasteland sandworm. These things, aren't they supposed to be dormant? Why are they awake now? Wait. Frost glances back at the giant red claw behind her. That's why. But she has barely a second to think. The sandworm, nearly 20 meters long, is already on top of her, jaw stretched wide. Frost grips her broken sword. She leaps straight at it. The worm doesn't even take her seriously. That's its mistake. The broken blade drives straight into its skull. The worm screams in pain, thrashing wildly. I'm getting anxious watching this. Then I spot the lighter on my desk. I grab it and pop out the piezoelectric igniter. Move! Frost hears Senior's voice again. She lets herself get thrown clear, and then the world changes. A clear sky suddenly tears open with violent winds. Dark clouds swallow the horizon. In a single breath, the sun is gone. The sandworm freezes and looks up. It trembles. It tries to flee, but the force gathering above gives it no chance. A devastating blue-violet bolt of lightning tears through the sky and crashes down without mercy. Then the clouds part. Sunlight returns. The scorched crater in the earth is the only evidence of what just happened. I stare at the tiny worm I just fried. I let out a breath. Good. I managed to save her. You okay? I'm fine. Thank you, Senior, for saving my life. I have nothing to offer in return, but if you ever need anything, just ask. Anything? Anything. Do you have another flying sword? A flying sword? My sword is gone. But I still have a practice sword my master made for me. Digs through her pouch and pulls out a wooden flying sword. She has no idea how to hand it over, so she carefully plants it in the ground. Senior, this practice sword was forged by my master. It has a sword writing formation carved into it and spirit stones embedded throughout. Even someone without cultivation can use it. It was made for learning sword writing, Frost explains earnestly. The sword is thinner than a strand of hair. No way I'm grabbing that with my fingers. I carefully lower a pair of tweezers into the box, and then, two enormous metal rods appear from the sky above and gently close around the wooden sword planted in the ground, and lift it away. Frost watches in confusion. Senior really seems unwilling to show himself. Could there be a reason? I carefully set the tiny wooden sword on my palm and examine it. The world inside the box. It's real. All of it. Senior, would it be possible to take the giant claw with me? My fellow disciples have been surrounded by half-demons for nearly a year. They won't last much longer. Tell me everything. And so Frost tells me the whole story. Her master had built Azure Thunder Sect here in the barren wastes. For years, the half-demon clans had kept their distance. Then, 1 year ago, they launched a massive assault. Azure Thunder Sect nearly fell. Fortunately, other sects across the barren waste joined the fight, and together they held the line. But the half-demons simply changed tactics. They encircled the entire sect, cutting off every supply line, starving them out slowly. Frost was sent out to find help. Even if she failed to bring reinforcements, she was to bring back whatever supplies she could. After hearing all of it, I understand. Take it. I have more if it's not enough. It's enough. More than enough. This meat, it's rich in spiritual energy. It can strengthen the body as well as any elixir. With this, we can drive back the half-demons. Frost pulls out a storage pouch covered in runes, gives it a wave toward the giant claw, and the claw vanishes inside. Is it full? Oh, it's full already. I was going to have fun with that thing a little longer. Smaller than I expected. Senior, I'm heading back to my sect. Would you like to come? I have things to take care of, maybe another time. Understood. Whenever you're free, Azure Thunder Sect will always welcome you. And with that, Frost hurries off into the depths of the barren wastes. I watch from outside the box as she moves, and sure enough, the view inside shifts with her. It always stays centered on her. Elsewhere, at the base of Clear Spring Mountain, waves of dark shadows encircle Azure Thunder Sect. Ribbons of light drift around the mountain, crackling with bolts of lightning. That is the sect's protective formation, the 5 Thunder Annihilation Array. The demon forces have never been able to break through it, so they resort to this, a slow siege, bleeding the sect dry. At the center of the demon camp, a wolf-headed half-demon paces anxiously. This is Blaze, leader of the half-demons. I said it from the start. The barren wastes barely has enough resources for us as it is. Now we're fighting humans too? Everyone's broke. Even if we take everything they have, does that actually make us rich? Exactly. The longer this drags on, who knows if the humans will break first. But I guarantee we half-demons will be crippled either way. Just then, an elderly figure appears at the center of the camp. Blaze, why haven't you attacked? My lord, that protective array is extraordinarily powerful. We cannot break through it. All we can do is wait. I think you simply don't want to. A crushing pressure rolls off him, stealing the breath from every half-demon nearby. Nascent soul. A nascent soul master? Out here? My lord, please calm yourself. You may not be aware. The other sects fear they'll be next after we take Azure Thunder Sect. They've all gathered here and are fighting us together. Small sects on their own mean nothing, but united, they are not to be underestimated. The old man laughs. A ragtag bunch. No matter. The Grand Elder's situation is nearly settled. Now it's time to deal with these troublemakers. Blaze thinks to himself, what did I do to deserve this? You humans and your endless drama. Why do we half-demons always get dragged into it? Still, you do serve a purpose. You've kept everyone pinned down here, and no one has slipped through. Blaze hesitates. Well, one girl got out, but my lord, don't worry. I've already sent people to hunt her down. The old man stiffens. He pulls out a scroll and unrolls it. The face drawn on it is unmistakably Frost. Is this her? Yes. That's her. Just then, a small wolf demon comes sprinting in. My lord, the ones sent to hunt the human girl are dead. What? She escaped? No, my lord, she's actually come back. I'll go kill her myself. No, let her return. We'll send her and her sect master to the grave together. But my lord, Azure Thunder Sect burned through everything just to break our siege and send her out for help. What if she actually brought back something dangerous? The old man smirks. What force in this world could stand against Celestial Tao's sect? We are the #1 sect in the Central Lands, the head of the Righteous Alliance. Blaze already knew this old man was dangerous. He had no idea just how dangerous. How did a tiny sect like Azure Thunder Sect end up crossing Celestial Tao sect? And that girl, she hasn't even reached foundation building. How is a nascent soulmaster personally hunting her down? Every instinct tells Blaze, some things are better left unknown. Back at my desk, the tiny wooden sword begins to tremble. Then it starts growing. It expands until it becomes a full-size wooden sword, nearly 1 meter long, covered in intricate carved runes. I pick it up, completely baffled. It's surprisingly light, warm even. But how am I supposed to use this thing? I try picturing it in my mind. I imagine the sword lifting into the air. It shudders. Then it slowly rises from my hand and hovers there, drifting through the room exactly where I imagine it going. I guide it back, heart pounding. Something pulled from inside the box, and it actually works out here. Maybe I don't have to die after all. If I can pull elixirs out of the mystic realm, they might actually cure me. I force the excitement down. There's one thing I need to confirm first. Who exactly was the old man who sold me this box? Half an hour later, I'm back at the spot where I found the stall, but the old man is gone. The whole stall has vanished. A nearby vendor grins at me. Hey kid, did that old man scam you too? Let me tell you. His son was a grave robber. The son dug up the tombs and the old man handled the selling. A few days ago, the son got buried alive in a collapse, and the old man dropped dead from a heart attack. So yeah, your 800 is gone. I just stand there blinking. The box was dug out of a tomb, and everyone who touched it kicked the bucket. Though when I think about it, I don't have many days left either. Somehow that makes me less afraid. My phone rings. It's my cousin Leo. Heard you quit and went after that cheapskate Tang. Yeah, he owed me wages. Come up to Wanjing Mountain. I've got some temp work for you. Wanjing Mountain is the largest range in Tianhe City, ridge after ridge, stretching as far as the eye can see. But as I make my way up, I don't feel tired. At all. It's like there's an endless current of energy running through me. Some seriously fit hikers try to race me. They can't even keep me in sight. Is this a hike? Or why am I basically jogging the whole way up? When did regular people get left so far behind? It has to be the spirit stone in the sword, channeling spiritual energy into me even without active cultivation. I need to ask Frost for a proper technique later. I don't need to be unbeatable. I just need to not die young. At the top, I find a rundown Taoist temple. A young Taoist waves at me. It's Leo. Check out my Taoist certification. These days, even Taoists need a license. I heard Taoists make decent money. Sounds like you finally landed a stable gig. Leo's face falls. That was before. These days, the monks have taken everything. Everyone's running to temples now. Hey, want to become a Taoist? It doesn't pay great lately, but at least you won't starve. I'll think about it. I turn him down. But Leo has helped me more times than I can count. This time, I'm going to return the favor. That night, I head into the dark woods on the mountain. I summon the flying sword. Frost told me. The sword riding formation built into it means anyone can use it. I carefully set it on the ground and step on. The sword slowly lifts off, then picks up speed. The mountain wind fades, but something feels off. Something's missing. I think for a second, then pull out my phone and hit play on a song. Now that's the vibe. I grin as I soar over Wanjing Mountain. Not long after I leave, campers on the mountain look up in total confusion, staring at each other in disbelief. Did I just see an immortal flying? Who got that on video? I did. Post it. This is going viral. Deep into the night, I finally make it home. I'm completely wiped out. I collapse face first into bed and pass out. What I don't know is that my little test flight has just shaken all of Wanjing Mountain. The news of someone's sword riding over the mountain shoots straight to trending. And by pure coincidence, there just happens to be a Taoist temple on Wanjing Mountain. A crumbling, worn-down one at that, so easy to overlook. Isn't that exactly what a real cultivator would do to stay hidden? The internet goes wild. Everyone is convinced there is an immortal cultivating inside that temple. The next morning, the temple is completely mobbed. Leo's old master steps outside and stares at the crowd in total bewilderment. Nobody wants a fortune reading. Nobody is here to burn incense. They all just want to know, can he sword ride? But the old master is quick. He sees exactly what this is. A massive opportunity. The temple speakers start blasting that same song, and every time someone asks if he can sword ride, he says nothing. He just smiles, which somehow makes everyone even more convinced. The monks at the nearby temple watch all this in stunned silence. Forget praying to Buddha. Everyone wants to cultivate now. I catch the trending topic myself and can't help but laugh. Leo is probably swamped right now. Maybe I should go for another flight sometime. Back in the mystic realm, Frost pushes through the journey without pause, terrified of running into more pursuers. Fortunately, luck is with her today. The whole way back, nothing goes wrong. She makes it just before dawn, arriving at Azure Thundersect. From a distance she takes it all in. Ring after ring of half-demon camps sprawling across the barren earth, encircling Clear Spring Mountain completely. Half-demons guard every angle, above and below. Using the hidden trap formation she set on her way out, Frost carefully slips back inside. Frost! A familiar voice calls out. She turns. A small, thin girl is standing right behind her. Ren. The two of them throw their arms around each other. Thank goodness you're back. Master said the protective array won't hold past today. The supplies on the mountain are completely gone. If you hadn't come back, we would have been finished. The commotion draws attention. Sect leaders from across Clear Spring Mountain come rushing over. Seeing Frost standing there unharmed, every one of them exhales with relief. Miss Frost, did you manage to bring back supplies? Is anyone coming to help us? Frost sees the desperate looks on their faces. She knows there's no time to waste. She reaches for the giant claw in her storage pouch, but just then Sarah appears with a cold expression, grabs Frost by the arm, hauls her into the main hall, and slams the door shut. There is no relief on Sarah's face, only anger. Why did you come back? Didn't I tell you, once you left, don't come back? Sarah's fury is not without reason. The talk of reinforcements and supplies, all of it was just a story she told the other sect leaders. The moment she used her last resources to get Frost out, she never intended for Frost to return. Coming back means death. Master, I can't just abandon you. Frost meets Sarah's eyes without flinching. She knows Sarah wants her to live, but does Sarah think Frost doesn't want the same for her? Even if it means dying, she will die here with her master. Sarah stares into those stubborn eyes and knows there is nothing she can say. Why are you so foolish? Master, I brought supplies. Supplies? That won't help us. No, Master, real supplies, a lot of them. Then show me. Master, this room is too small, let's go outside. The two of them step out of the hall. The sect leaders outside all snap to attention the moment they appear. Sarah opens her mouth to speak. Then the sky goes dark. She looks up. An enormous giant claw descends into view, and everyone just stops. What kind of beast does a claw like that even come from? It's enormous. Frost steps forward. Fellow sect leaders, this meat is packed with spiritual energy. The energy inside is gentle enough to absorb directly without any elixir. It can even strengthen the physical body on its own. Sarah turns slowly, mind completely blank. Where on earth did this disciple get something like this? Did she raid a divine transformation master's vault? Sarah grabs Frost by the arm and says quietly, "Tell me everything that happened on your way back." Every sect leader leans in. Frost nods and begins to recount it all. Divine wooden spears falling from the sky, wolf demons skewered in an instant, a storm of thunder and lightning, a sandworm struck dead by a bolt from above. The listeners' expressions grow more and more astonished with every word. Ren sums it up simply. So senior sister ran into a really powerful senior. Frost nods repeatedly. The other sect leaders exchange looks, then press forward. Miss Frost, could we request a meeting with the senior? In a crisis like this, if we could persuade them to act, everything might change. But Frost's expression falls. She has no idea how to reach Senior Kai. Sarah reads the room instantly. We cannot pin our hopes on someone none of us have ever seen, she says sharply. Besides, this person may not be as powerful as described. That lands. Everyone pauses. After all, Frost is only a low-level chi refinement cultivator. The thunder that split the sky, the hand that blotted out the heavens, it could all be exaggeration from someone who simply hasn't seen enough of the world. Frost is frantic. Senior really is that powerful. Why won't anyone believe me? Outside the glass box, I've been watching the whole thing since I woke up, and honestly, I'm a little annoyed. You tiny people who couldn't even handle a lobster claw? What gives you the right to doubt me? Fine, you want a hand that blots out the heavens? I'll give you one. Mid-explanation, Frost freezes and snaps her gaze to the sky. Everyone else goes quiet too. All eyes turn upward. But beyond the clouds, there is nothing to see. Then my voice reaches her. What do you need right now? Frost hears it clearly. She turns to Sarah. Senior Kai is asking what we need. Sarah's expression hardens. She wrestles with it. If she asks Senior Kai to act directly, the price could be enormous. After a long moment, Sarah drops to one knee, fists pressed together. Senior Kai, please grant us a Thunder Spirit Stone to keep our protective array running. It is the safest ask she can think of, the one that costs Senior the least. No direct intervention needed. Just enough to keep the array alive. The barren wastes offer almost nothing, but with the siege in place and the giant claw meat to sustain them, they could hold out for a century if they had to. The half-demon army is massive and burns through resources fast. They will break before we do. Outside the box, I hear Sarah's request and draw a blank. A Thunder Spirit Stone? Where am I supposed to find something like that? Wait, everything I've dropped into the Mystic Realm seems to take on a life of its own in there. I rummage through my box and pull out a coin battery. Electricity is basically lightning, right? Back in the Mystic Realm, Sarah waits. Nothing happens. She starts to worry. Was the ask too much? She is about to apologize when the clouds suddenly part. Everyone looks up. A round metal object comes falling from the sky. It slams into the courtyard, punching a massive crater into the ground. A flat, circular disc of metal. No one can tell what it is. It shimmers with a faint glow. Senior says this is a battery. A battery. A pool of lightning and thunder. Everyone stares at the enormous disc, then looks at each other in complete confusion. None of them have ever seen anything like it. Sarah waves everyone back and approaches it alone, pressing her hand against the surface. She extends her divine sense, letting it seep through the casing and into the core. The clear sky disappears in an instant. Dark clouds crash in from every direction. Bolts of lightning erupt from Clear Spring Mountain and surge upward into the heavens. The entire mountain is swallowed in crackling light. Sarah stumbles back, drops to her knees, and coughs up a mouthful of blood. This is a thunder pool. Her eyes tremble like she cannot believe what she is sensing. A thunder pool? Like the ones at Thunder Spirit Sect in the Central Lands? A pool that absorbs raw lightning, strengthens the body, and can even rebuild flesh from within. And now one sits right in front of them. Everyone swallows hard. Sarah is more shaken than anyone. Yes, this thunder pool is smaller than the ones in the Central Lands, but the raw power inside it is no weaker. If anything, it might be stronger. Someone who can blot out the heavens with one hand, and this is just a casual gesture? Seeing the blood at the corner of Sarah's mouth, I quickly put down the larger batteries I had picked up. I was worried the coin battery might not have enough power, but looking at this, thank goodness I used the small one. A bigger battery might have killed Sarah outright. I watch as Sarah weaves spell after spell, linking the protective array to the coin battery. Energy begins flowing steadily from the battery into the formation. The once dim array slowly blazes back to life. Bolts of lightning leap and dance across Clear Spring Mountain, radiating terrifying power. I set my phone down. I had been recording. This is so bizarre. What even is this? A new kind of renewable energy array? I play back the footage and watch tiny figure after tiny figure busily constructing the formation, wiring it to the battery. I can't help but smile. The coin battery rises slowly into the air, hovering above the peak of Clear Spring Mountain. Lightning pours out of it in a steady stream, feeding the array without pause. No coin battery in the world has ever had a moment like this. With the array fully recharged, Sarah finally breathes. She notices the battery still holds some charge, so she gathers everyone beneath the hovering battery, to absorb the remaining lightning energy. They all sit down, cross-legged beneath it, as tendrils of lightning leak from the battery and crawl across their bodies like living serpents, tempering their flesh from the inside out. With a powerful enemy at the gates, every bit of strength matters. At the base of Clear Spring Mountain, the half-demon forces stare up at the floating metal disc with wide eyes, buzzing with confusion. In all the time they have spent besieging these humans, they have never seen anything like it. Their protective array just got stronger. Is that disc doing it? The half-demons are baffled. Just days ago, the array looked like it was on its last breath. Now it radiates more power than ever before. Blaze notices too. He thinks of the girl who came back. She actually brought help. Parlor tricks. The old man's voice cuts through. Sarah, after all these years, you still rely on cheap schemes. That disc holds no spiritual power. It is not an artifact. Good enough to spook half-demons, perhaps. But unfortunately, whoever is behind this could not have anticipated that I would come personally. Blaze watches the old man's arrogance and feels something cold settle in his chest. Sure, a nascent soulmaster has every right to be confident, but does that mean half-demons are just supposed to die as pawns for humans? He starts to speak. The old man cuts him off. Do not worry. Even if there is someone behind this, I will handle them personally. I will show you people of the barren wastes exactly what a true immortal is capable of. The next morning, Frost is awake before dawn. Lightning crackles across her skin. Her eyes glow with a cold blue light. The heavenly thunder tempering, combined with the demon beast meat she consumed, has pushed her body to a whole new level. Her physical strength now rivals that of a foundation-building cultivator. She could even hold her own against someone in the later stages of foundation building. Around her, the other sect leaders are waking too, staring at their own hands in disbelief. The ambient lightning alone had pushed their bodies far beyond where they were before. Thank you, Senior Kai. Some of them finally come back to their senses and bow toward the sky. Sarah opens her eyes and turns to Frost. She sighs. Still no breakthrough? Frost is still at the 14th level of Chi refinement. It's alright. It really is. The Q refinement stage only has 10 levels, yet Frost has pushed past that to 14, with no sign of a breakthrough anywhere in sight. Frost, you've always wondered about where you came from, haven't you? Among the half-demons outside, I sensed a familiar presence. Most likely someone sent to kill us. Or more precisely, to kill you. If we survive this, it is time I told you everything. Sarah rises slowly and lifts off the ground. Down below, another figure rises from within the half-demon forces. Ren gasps. That's a human. Why is a human standing with the half-demons? I've been watching closely, and now I sit up straight. This looks like it's about to turn into a fight. Should I step in? Maybe not yet. If I go too hard, I might accidentally take out Clear Spring Mountain along with everyone else. Let me think. What do I have that's more precise? I start digging through my room. Meanwhile, Sarah fixes her gaze on the figure in the distance and speaks. Elder 7, it has been a long time. You still remember me? Sarah, impressive. 20 years of hiding right under our noses. No wonder you ran off with the girl and left the sect. 7 flying swords rise slowly around Elder 7, his aura surging to its peak. He is clearly going all out. Out of respect for the time we once shared the same sect, hand over Frost and I will make it quick for you. Otherwise, Elder 7, does Celestial Dao's sect truly have to go this far? Elder 7 answers with a cold laugh. 7 flying swords slash through the air, sword energy tearing in every direction. Then all 7 swords converge, erupting into a single devastating wave of sword energy that looks like it could split the sky in two. It tears across the heavens, aimed straight for the core of the protective array. Sarah rushes forward on her flying sword to intercept, but Elder 7 is already in front of her. Lightning surges across Sarah's body, but Elder 7's battle instincts are razor sharp. He finds the gap in an instant. His hand becomes a blade, and he drives it clean through her lightning defense. Sarah coughs up a mouthful of blood. She nearly loses her grip on the air itself. Elder 7 has been a nascent soul master for over 1,000 years. Sarah has not even reached that stage. She is no match for him. So you truly are willing to die for that girl? Then I will make it swift. At that moment, the massive wave of sword energy slams into the protective array and shatters its core. No one dares to move. Those are 7 artifacts belonging to a nascent soul master. Down below, the half-demons stare as the array that held them off for an entire year is casually torn apart like it was nothing. Every one of them stands frozen. Above, Elder 7's voice cracks like a whip. Blaze, what are you waiting for? Attack! In an instant, the half-demons surrounding Clear Spring Mountain let out a deafening roar and surged forward like a dark flood. Without the array, Clear Spring Mountain cannot hold. Every sect leader on the mountain goes pale. Who could have imagined that the formation they staked everything on would be shattered so casually? Are cultivators from the central lands really this terrifying? Frost, run! Ren sees what's coming and immediately grabs Frost, pulling her away. But before they can move, a figure drops from the sky. It is Sarah. She looks terrible. Her presence is barely a flicker. Go! I gave you 20 extra years of life and you think you're just going to walk away? Miss Frost, call Senior Kai now. If you wait any longer, it will be too late. Hearing that, Frost's heart hammers in her chest. Senior Kai has already done so much for her, and the enemy standing before them is terrifyingly powerful. What if Senior Kai falls here because of her? It doesn't matter who you call. Right at that moment, I suddenly remember the laser pointer I picked up from that shop. I dig it out of my bag. This should do something. Just as I'm about to act, a woman's voice suddenly echoes in Sarah's fading mind. Sarah! Stop being stubborn. Apologize to the sect master. Hand over Frost and the mystic blood. The sect master promises his people will come for you immediately. Hearing that familiar voice, Sarah just smiles. Senior sister, why do you think I left the sect in the first place? Sarah, Frost, tell Senior Kai, if he is willing to act, I will offer him the mystic blood. Sarah is ready to die, but the child of her own master cannot die here. Before Frost can even reach me, a single red dot appears in the sky. In less than a heartbeat it streaks downward, cutting through the air like a pillar of fire. The beam drives straight down onto Elder 7, wrapping around him completely. Crimson flames erupt across his body. He tries to flee. The beam follows without hesitation. Everywhere it passes, the ground melts into lava. Elder 7 burns alive. Then the red light vanishes in an instant, and everything looks as if nothing happened at all. A nascent soul master of that caliber, and not even ash remains. Outside the box, I click off the laser pointer. That thing hits hard. Ren, you okay? I'm fine, Senior Kai. I'm fine. Other than being thoroughly terrified, Ren does not have a single scratch. Sarah hears Ren murmuring to herself and knows Senior Kai is speaking to her again. Ren, the mystic blood, the mystic blood. Hearing that, Frost speaks up quickly. Senior Kai, my master wishes to offer you a treasure called the mystic blood. We can discuss it later. Clean up the situation first. Senior Kai says we handle the aftermath first. Blaze grits his teeth. He knows there is still someone watching from above. He walks straight up to Frost and drops to his knees. Sect Master Sarah, this war was started by me. Do with me as you will. My people only followed my orders. Not one of them has actually killed any of your people. Please spare them. I will send them north to the frozen tundra, and they will never return. To keep his people alive, this is the only move Blaze has left. The sect leaders are furious, but seeing Blaze like this, no one can bring themselves to speak. They all turn to Sarah. This is not my call to make. Let Senior Kai decide. Outside the box I hear everything. Honestly, they are not bad people. Elder 7 forced their hand, and more importantly, some of these half-demons are catgirls. Sure, let's keep them around. Frost stares blankly, convinced she misheard. Senior Kai says he will take you in. Take us in? What does that mean? Like the way ordinary people keep pets? A flash of anger rises in Blaze's chest. Yes, they are completely at this person's mercy right now, but half-demons have dignity too. Before he can say anything, a massive red object plummets from the sky near Clearspring Mountain. Everyone turns to look. A leg of meat the size of a small hill crashes into the ground, filling the air with a rich, incredible scent and a wave of spiritual energy. Senior Kai says this is food for you. There is more if it is not enough. Blaze stares at the enormous leg, jaw hanging open. This is for us? Yes. Go ahead and eat, don't fight over it. The half-demons explode into a sprint toward the meat. A lifetime of poverty. They have never even seen demon beast meat of this caliber. Miss Frost, you are truly wise. Actually, I, Blaze, have been a dog demon since birth. Everyone just assumed I was a wolf. Thank you, Senior Kai, for helping me find my true self. And with that, Blaze bounds toward the meat exactly like a dog chasing a bone. If he waits any longer, there will be nothing left for him. Who says being a dog is bad? Being a dog is absolutely great. Watching the half-demons stampede toward the food, the cultivators on Clearspring Mountain look on with undisguised envy. Miss Frost, I could be a dog too. Senior Kai says get lost. I was just lightening the mood, but speaking of which, why does this thing look so much like a chicken leg? Could Senior Kai have actually slain a phoenix? Outside the box, I finish off the last piece from my bucket of fried chicken. The piece inside the box was one I had just tossed in. What I did not expect was that a plain chicken would become a phoenix inside the mystic realm. By now it is already afternoon. After a full day of cleanup, the humans and half-demons finally clear the battlefield together. Frost mentioned earlier that Sarah wants to offer me the mystic blood. I reach in to take it, but worry about hurting someone, so I go back for the tweezers. Inside the mystic realm, a massive golden hand slowly descends through the clouds, pressing closer and closer. The half-demons on the ground drop to their knees on the spot. Even Sarah, battered as she is, cannot stop trembling. Then, the enormous hand suddenly vanishes. Everyone exhales at once. That crushing pressure was enough to knock several of the weaker demons unconscious right where they stood. A moment later, two enormous metal pillars descend from the sky. Frost quickly places a pouch beside them. The metal pillars close gently around it and carry it away. After they disappear, everyone gasps for air. The weight of that presence, it felt like their hearts were being squeezed out of their chests. Wait! Blaze suddenly shouts at the sky, fumbling to pull out a round stone. My lord, this is a demon beast egg passed down from my ancestors. They say an ancient dragon descendant sleeps inside. Please accept it. At that, the metal pillars that just left come back down. Blaze sees them coming and thrusts the egg above his head. The pillars close around it gently and carry it back up into the sky. Lady Sarah, we have all received Senior Kai's blessing, and we are all stuck here in this barren wasteland. Why not join forces? After the battle with Elder 7, everyone here has realized the same thing. The real threat to the barren waste has never come from within. It comes from outside. A single elder was enough to throw everything into chaos. If they do not unite, are they just going to sit here and wait to be picked off one by one? Sarah had assumed Senior Kai was after Frost's Dao fruit, but looking at everything now, perhaps he simply does not care about that at all. All he has done is keep Frost safe. All right, I agree. That night, Frost stands gazing at the sky, thinking of Senior Kai. Just then, Sarah walks up behind her and stares upward too, lost in thought. Master, do you think Senior Kai really came from the Sea of Calamity? I have a feeling he might be an immortal. An immortal? But can immortals even descend to this realm? Sarah is not sure either. But who else, when faced with a heaven-born Daobone, would show such complete indifference? Only an immortal. He chose you, Frost. He must have seen something in your gift. Your heaven-born Daobone demands an enormous amount of energy to satisfy. That is why your progress is slow. Immortals are different from US cultivators. Every time they act, it carries karma. So from now on, ask as little of Senior Kai as possible. Every action he takes brings karma backlash in return. Then Sarah tells Frost everything she has kept hidden all these years. Frost's mother, Sarah's own master, was Rain, daughter of the celestial Tao sect master. Rain had ventured into the Sea of Calamity in her youth, and when she returned, she gave birth to Frost. But the day of the birth, a trace of dark energy escaped into the world. All of the central lands began to whisper that the holy daughter of celestial Tao sect had joined with the demon clan. Rain's father, Voss, was old and fading, trapped at the divine transformation stage for 1,000 years with no progress. His standing in the sect had crumbled. To protect his position, he sold out his own daughter. Rain took her own life before celestial Tao sect. With that, the righteous cultivators lost their excuse to act and were forced to stand down. Rain had known from the moment of Frost's birth that she carried a heaven-born Daobone. To keep it from being taken, Rain asked Sarah to take Frost far from the central lands. So Sarah came to the barren wastes. It was thin in spiritual energy, scarce in resources, but safe, or so they thought. 20 years later, they found out about Frost's Daobone anyway. Frost stands there, mind completely blank. She never imagined her origins could be this complicated. Daughter of the holy daughter of celestial Tao sect, descended from a demon clan, and a heaven-born Daobone. At least you found Senior Kai. That alone has spared you from a great deal. 20 years of fear, and tonight, Sarah finally let some of it go. With Senior Kai here, she herself may not survive, but Frost will. I sit there completely stunned. Frost's backstory is that complicated? Well, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I wake up the next morning to find that everything I pulled from the box yesterday has grown to full size. A storage pouch, the mystic blood, the stone egg, and 7 flying swords that once belonged to Elder 7. Frost told me they are all high-grade artifacts. On top of that, there is a cultivation technique, the 10,000 springs technique. And yes, I want to cultivate in the real world. Cultivators don't get cancer, right? I open the 10,000 springs technique and start reading. Turns out I don't need to read it at all. All I have to do is hold the technique against my forehead and the knowledge flows in on its own. Some parts I simply cannot make sense of though, so I keep asking Frost to explain. The days pass. A full month goes by. I do not step outside once. The delivery drivers basically have my address memorized. Meanwhile, Sarah leads both the half-demons and the cultivators in rebuilding. They leave Clear Spring Mountain behind and settle in the half-demon ancestral lands, throwing up new structures everywhere. Over that same month, Frost finishes off the entire giant claw by herself. The rich spiritual energy combined with her relentless training pushes her all the way to the 19th level of chi refinement. Most people break through at 10. Frost needs 20. That is the burden of a heaven-born Daobone. One day, Leo calls, "Hey, what's up? Come out. We haven't had drinks together in forever." Before long, I'm at a barbecue stall near his place. Leo is already there waiting. Through the conversation, I find out he lost his job too. The temple had been doing really well, until someone reported it for spreading superstition and it got shut down. After listening to everything, I decide to head back up to Wanjing Mountain. Time to do this properly. A few hours later, I arrive at the temple and run into Leo's old master. "You're Leo's friend, right?" "That's right. I wanted to have a word with you." Leo is a good kid. He is nearly 30. Put in a good word for him, will you? Being a Taoist is not what it used to be. These days only the famous ones make real money. Staying with me leads nowhere. Look, even my temple is gone. I don't know. I still see plenty of young people who love Taoist culture. That's different. What they want is the kind of immortal you read about in stories. But if Taoism actually had real immortals, would we have ended up like this? Maybe there really are some. You saw those people lining up last time? That was just a bird flying by. Anyway, I'm retiring next month. This is Leo's wages for this month. Pass it along for me. He hands me an envelope and heads down the mountain. I tuck it away and stare up at the sky, lost in thought. Time drifts by. Before long, it is deep into the night. It is time. I get up and walk into the woods behind the temple. I open the storage pouch and pull out a jade stone. Inside the clear jade, threads of deep red liquid swirl like blood. This is the mystic blood. The treasure Rain brought back from the Sea of Calamity. It can rewrite fate itself. It can awaken a spirit root in someone born with none. It can turn an ordinary person into something extraordinary. I take a slow, deep breath, then I crush the jade in my fist. The red liquid seeps into my body. In just a few seconds, it fully merges. A tidal wave of energy crashes through me. I push the 10,000 springs technique into motion as fast as I can to absorb it. First level of chi refinement, second, third, all the way to the 10th. The clear moonlit sky over Tiani City vanishes in an instant. Thunder splits the air. Lightning churns through the darkness in wave after wave. Some people who were camping nearby come crawling out of their tents, cursing at the sky. They start packing up their gear. "Hey, look! Over there! Near the temple!" A bolt of lightning tears open the sky and strikes a figure hovering in the air. The sight is so striking that the whole city of Tiani notices. Is someone on Wanjing Mountain crossing a tribulation? Is there really someone crossing a tribulation? I told you someone was flying up there that day. The 9th bolt of lightning falls. The clouds slowly part. The world goes quiet. I vanish along with them. That same night, people from all across Tiani flood up Wanjing Mountain. The temple is nearly crushed by the crowd. The old master steps outside and just stares. Don't tell me you all think there's an immortal cultivating in here again. Looks like Leo has work after all. High above Tianhe City, I hover in the air. I use a basic technique from the mystic realm, the concealment technique. More than enough to fool ordinary people. I can't help but laugh. The mystic blood has launched me straight past chi refinement and into foundation building. I can now direct spiritual energy precisely enough to hunt down and destroy every last cancer cell in my body. I am done with this disease for good. I look down at the city below, lights and traffic stretching as far as I can see, and 1,000 thoughts rush through my mind. Should I stop eating beef now?